listen to them. The children of the night. What sweet music, Dagmar. Music.
Hello and welcome to Classically Weird. My name is Headmaster Howard. I'm your host for today's episode, and joining me as always is my lovely wife and partner in this endeavor, Miss Regana Ray.
Hello, fellow weird. Thank you for having me, my love.
So today we're venturing through Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1992, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Gary Oldman, Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, and Carrie Elways is in there too.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
And Sir Anthony Hopkins. All right, my love. So why did we choose this movie to start diving into?
So this movie is my pick after we did the review for Dracula 1931. And Bram Stoker's Dracula is one that I saw in the theaters when it came out in 1992 and really shot my love of gothic horror romance into its flourishing that it still is to this day. So when we reviewed that, I wanted to review again with you because this is more based on the book, which, by the way, have you ever read the book cover to cover? Really? I never did. I couldn't get through it.
So how do you know this is based more on the book?
Based on research and what you've told me.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
This depiction of Dracula takes a lot of artistic liberty.
Oh, huge.
From Francis Ford Coppola. Lot of artistic liberty. I would say there are elements of this that stick closer to the novel. But there are definite
some cinematic
portions from
fair.
the material.
But that happens across
Yeah.
every book that has been turned into a movie. However, I can safely say that yes, while I had a copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula for many years, I never finished it. Now, the movie I've watched quite a few times.
All right, my love. So now let's start diving into the plot of Bram Stoker's Dracula. We open in 1462 with Vlad the Impaler. Loses his beloved Elizabetha. Curses God, stabs a cross, boom, instant Dracula. This isn't in the book at all. Stoker's Dracula shows up already old and creepy. Coppola, though, wants us conflicted right away. So then we have Jonathan Harker's trip out into Transylvania. Keanu Reeves and his famously ambitious accent.
Leave Keanu alone.
Heads to Dracula's castle. It's all shadow play, wolves, and the brides of Dracula. This part actually sticks pretty close to the book. Both versions are about dread, isolation, and Jonathan realizing, I'm probably about to become dinner. We hit a major turning point when Dracula tunes in that Mina, because Jonathan takes a picture of Mina with him. He sees the picture of Mina, sees the semblance between Elizabetha, decides it's now his time to take over. So he traps Jonathan in the castle and then heads to England. There's some stuff that happens in between, like you have the Demeter in between, which is the ship
and him crossing, and you have there's a lot of journal entries in this movie.
Yes, and that's fairly close to the novel. The novelization was very journal.
Was a lot of journal entries. So you're watching, you're getting that point of view and different perspectives from various people. Predominantly Mina, Jonathan Harker. There was one from the captain from the Demeter that's telling about how people are disappearing and the winds and how just chaotic and unsafe this travel has been.
Absolutely.
So we have that whole scene in there as he's traveling to find his Mina.
Now, once he arrives in London, we see he's now back to being young and virile.
Yeah, but why is he back to young and being?
Well, he's regaining his strength.
He's regaining his strength because he went after Lucy.
Exactly.
Her best friend.
He becomes suave again. So just like in every other depiction of the Dracula story we've seen, as he consumes blood, as he starts regaining his power, he regains more of his youth, more of his vigor, as it were. He crosses paths with Mina on accident and convinces her that he's a prince, which he was. Convinces her to take him to see the cinematograph, which was the original motion pictures, which I thought was funny, kind of harkening back to the 1931 Dracula, because it was coming off the tail end of the silent film era, and this was showing like the launch of the silent film era,
Yep.
which was interesting.
Yep.
Mina's friend Lucy, who you've mentioned already, is having the worst time of her life, or the best, depending on how you look at it. Dracula seduces her. She then spirals into one of the most erotic and unsettling vampire transformations ever filmed.
Unsettling. I don't know. I'm the naughty one that thought that was hot.
The book keeps Lucy's downfall creepy, but restrained. Coppola, however, he turns it into an operatic display of lust and decay. It's meant to make us horrified and fascinated at the same time. It's really there to spark that seduction element that the Dracula story always has. The Dracula story is one about seducing purity. And this is how Francis Ford Coppola wanted to depict it in this movie. And I think it did its job.
Oh, I would absolutely agree on that. I would say that Dracula, and seeing that in 1992, I would have been 12 years old. And it was extremely romanticized. And I will not deny that I was one of those that I fell in love with Gary Oldman over this role. I mean, he was just, it was my first introduction to Gary Oldman.
Okay.
And really my first introduction into that vampire world, and seeing a vampire be so suave and spicy and attentive and intimate. The scene where it's a famous scene, and it's depicted on much of their movie art, where Winona Ryder as Mina is in the beautiful red dress, and they're having dinner and they're drinking absinthe and they're having this amazing time, and his magic where he just wipes away her tears and turns them into diamonds is just like everything is a dream. And this magic that he brings in, but she also remembers him and remembers a feeling of him, because you see the theatrics of this. When this movie opens, you are thrown into a war, you are thrown into a tragic love story of she thinking that he's gone, and throws herself into the river princess because she doesn't have her love anymore, and he has suffered for 4 centuries without her. And then she's reincarnated, and this new love story starts. So for me, I almost felt like excited and sad for him throughout it. So he is condemned, but why is he condemned? Because he went to fight for God and came back, and everything that he truly loved was taken from him. And that's the first time I've ever seen where somebody becomes a vampire without being bitten. And he is out there like slaying people, drinking blood stuff, and stabs the thing and drinks the blood and becomes, the immortal beast. But then bites everybody else to turn them.
Not my first time seeing somebody being turned into a vampire without a bite.
Okay.
There are other stories where it is a different journey for the first vampire. It's out there.
Okay.
Think Underworld.
Okay.
Underworld is different. Dracula 2000 is different.
Yeah.
There's a couple out
There's a
there.
couple
that
out there,
have
but also remember this was 1992 and the first time I had seen
yeah,
that.
yeah, of course.
That type of thing. There's definitely some horror to it. You know, the scare. You're in what 1897, 1890, somewhere in that timeline, and there's the whole panic because now that Dracula has come, the winds have changed. The newspapers are reporting the winds have changed. A wolf escapes from the local zoo and comes in and is scaring everybody, and he just controls the beast. So he also makes Mina feel safe because she was upset and she's running away from this wolf, and there he is and he just speaks to it, and then she's just lovingly caressing it. So everything about him is just this essence of magic and wonder, and then this internal feeling of I know this person. So yeah, it turns into a love story. It is a love story. And you say that he's narcissist, but even when he goes to turn her.
No, I said he was toxic.
Toxic. Oh, I'm sorry. Toxic. Sorry. Correction of words. But then he also says that he loves her too much to condemn her to death. So to break through all that passion, to find her, and then to get what you want, but having lived 4 centuries of that, how much do you love somebody? You know, do you want them to be condemned to your hell, or do you want to bring them on the journey with you?
Or do you want to leave the choice up to them?
And the choice did become hers because she was all over that.
Yes, she did. Yes, she was.
Mm-hmm.
With some influence.
Oh, okay, yes.
A little bit of coercion. Just a little bit.
Okay, well, you know, those suave vampires.
So picking up from there, you have the downfall of Lucy that happens. She gets turned into a vampire. We then have the vampire hunters assemble. So we have Jonathan, of course, Arthur, Quincy, Jack, and
of course,
Dr. Van Helsing.
Yes, played by
Sir Anthony Hopkins. Eating up scenes just like he always does.
Yes. Now, I would just like to also come back around because we have really unknowingly and happily reviewed 2 Anthony Hopkins movies back to back for ourselves.
Yes.
And you can see some of his kind of craziness and how he acts in the demonic possession in the same sort of wackiness in how he handles things being a vampire hunter. You know,
Yes.
he's very unconventional.
I mean, think about Hannibal Lecter.
Well, this is true too. This is true too.
Sir Anthony Hopkins has those acting chops to
Yeah.
be able to pull that off.
To pull all of this off, he really did. Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. So, but in that, having just doing those back to back, I was like, I see some similarities. Like when we talk about Renfield, and the guy that plays Renfield here, and
Tom
he's gonna have to. He doesn't have to, but he pulls from the 1931 Renfield.
Yeah,
And you
White
see,
Fry.
yes, and you see that in there.
You do.
Mhm.
There are elements of it. But those are some big shoes to fill, as we talked
Oh
about
my
in our
gosh, yeah.
Dracula 1931 film.
Mhm.
The White Fry really kind of stole the
And
the
set the
scene
bar
and
of
set
what
the
is
bar.
the Renfield
the Renfield.
persona. He really did. And so Lucy dies, and trigger warnings, they eat babies. That's the purest of the pure. So people have it.
But also, like in the 1931 Dracula, that is not done on scene.
But it's
Implied.
it's implied.
That implication sometimes in storytelling
Mhm.
is just as intense.
As actually
Because
showing.
Actually showing it, your brain can process it. But if it's implied, your brain is imagining it. So it's making you feel it more than just watching it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
It is. It is. Because in the Bram Stoker, Jonathan Harker, gets attacked by the brides of Dracula, and Dracula calls them off, and but we're so hungry, and feeds them a baby, and poor Jonathan Harker is just like traumatized through this movie, and his hair just keeps getting grayer and grayer through the movie.
Poor Harker.
Poor Harker. Bad accent and really gray hair. But you also have to figure, poor Keanu Reeves was coming out of the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures and took on a very serious role. He got a lot of slack for it.
He did.
But he did well. He did well for what it was.
He did well for the depiction, yes, but he should have just stuck to an American accent. He really should have. I'm sorry, Keanu. We love you. But
Oh my gosh, huge. Love Keanu.
Love Keanu, but you should have just stuck to the American accent.
Hey, you know what? We don't know the whole thing behind it. Maybe they were like, you have to do this. And he's like, I'm trying.
I mean, granted, Jonathan Harker is always traditionally an Englishman, but it is what it is.
Yes.
Now, it starts getting a little messy because Mina kind of falls in love with Dracula.
Kinda.
She does. She falls in love with Dracula. She falls under his spell. And really, she starts drinking his blood in, honestly, what would be a supernatural sex scene, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's very heavily innuendo scene.
Romantic, lustful.
Yeah, you can see the look in the
passionate.
eyes. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
it is
crazy.
a very intimate scene.
Now, that is a heavy departure from the original work.
Mm-hmm.
In the original work, Mina has no interest in Dracula at all.
Mm-hmm.
She actually shuns him and pushes him away at every turn.
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, Francis Ford Coppola is like, let's make this a little bit of a love tug of war, you know?
Yeah, because when she first meets Dracula, she's very pushy, you know, like, stay away from me. And have you met my husband? And then he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then she's like, I've kind of been a bitch. I'm sorry. You know, my bad. And then proceeds on to have the encounter with Dracula that turns into her almost becoming the next bride.
Yes. Fast forwarding a little bit into the final hunt scene.
Big, intense.
Big, intense. You got a train trip going from London all the way out to Transylvania through Budapest and a few other
The
places.
heat was on because they were chasing Dracula back. Because Dracula flees from Mina. You know, they all come storming in, and Dracula flees, leave Mina, but now they're using Mina as bait because Dracula can talk to Mina, and she has a call. You know, she wants to go back to him, so they're racing against a ship, and the ship initially, but because he can communicate with her, it's this cat and mouse thing that's happening all around and splitting up. So it was very intense.
Both sides are playing chess.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're moving their pieces where they should go,
Yep.
that kind of thing, to plan the attack. And you get the confrontation between the vampire hunters and Dracula at the gates of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
You have this tense fight. Quincy gets stabbed and dies, and then you have Mina taking the side of Dracula.
And Jonathan having to pick it because she's like, no. And Jonathan was the one who was actually going to shoot.
I believe it was Arthur who was going to be the one who was going to shoot.
Okay.
Carrie Elways.
Okay.
And Jonathan steps in and goes, no, we've done our part. She needs to do hers. And that faith in his partner, that faith in his wife. He's like, look, we've done all we can. She needs to do her part now. It was interesting.
Yeah, and talk about being an understanding husband in that scenario.
Right?
Because through
You talk about poor Harker.
well, yeah, and
That's another thing. His wife is
in love with a
Yeah.
vampire, and he has no idea because he goes on this what he thinks is going to be an amazing business trip to accelerate the life for him and his fiancée.
Yep.
And gets there, becomes Dracula's prisoner, is trapped for an extended period of time, escapes, goes to was it a monastery? It
was Covent.
a covenant? So
Covenant.
he covenant. So he finds a religious facility that he goes into, and the nuns there write back to Mina and say, Mina, you know, he's afraid for your life. You know, he needs you here, and wants you to be married immediately. not knowing that Dracula is on the hunt for Mina because he thinks that she's Elizabetha. And I mean, he has gone through torture and being kept weak by the other brides of Dracula, and escapes, marries his love, not knowing, because she says, my sweet Jonathan, he can never know of my prince. And has no idea that she's in love until he sees her, and she's, going down this rabbit hole of turning into a vampire and having to be understanding that this is my wife. She's under some sort of this spell work. And and then coming back around, he really went through a lot in that final scene. And I can't do anymore. And that was a good one.
Now, Dracula's death in this is a long, drawn-out process. It takes a while. We see the knife get stabbed in. Mina then steps in and pulls him into the castle, and then goes through, stabs the knife through the rest of the way, pulls it out, chops his head off. It's a long, drawn-out thing. In the book, Dracula's death is a blink and you'll miss it moment.
Really?
It's poof, gone.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, no, they drug it out. It was Jonathan that clipped his throat. And then
he sliced his throat.
Yeah, he sliced his
but it didn't cut all the way through.
It didn't cut all the way through. Then he turns and he gets stabbed.
Yep.
And he's just getting beat up all over the place, and then dragged back in, and actually dies in the place where he comes back from war, and that's where Mina's body was lying at.
Yep.
And when he finally does die, Mina is there holding him.
Yep.
So there's something also beautiful about that.
It's full circle.
It's the full circle. You've gone through the experience. Now she gets to go on and live her life. And I think our recorder actually turned off, and I said, good, because you won't get to see me cry. It's just the ending is beautiful. And really, in this whole movie, the music score in this movie is phenomenal. And even that last scene it rumbles me.
So that last scene is a beautiful scene, because what it allows us to do, again, it's a departure from the original work. The original work, he just dies a monster.
Mm-hmm.
In this, you actually start grieving for the man behind the monster.
Mm-hmm.
You see that human side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So Francis Ford Coppola in this, and in this depiction, really humanized Dracula for this generation. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. From this, a lot of other things have sparked out in humanizing vampires. So a lot of media that we've seen nowadays, even into like the Twilight movies.
I was just about to say the Twilight. Yeah.
Interview with the Vampire, so on and so forth. Honestly, a lot of it has that humanizing element behind the vampirism. It's not just about them being monsters. It's about the humans that they were
before they became
the vampires, and what were their motivations and their lives like. So it was interesting. So just like how Dracula 1931 set the tone for monster movies, almost every monster movie since, this one set the tone for vampire movies for this generation.
And romance and theatrics.
Yeah.
Because there's a running joke about that The Mummy has all three of my sexualities all in once. Because you've got The Mummy, you've got Brendan Fraser, but this is sort of the same thing, because it was so romanticized, and it became so beautiful that dating vampires became hot. And The Desire of the Gentleman. Gary Oldman really set a bar of distinguished and spicy, because we're not allowed to use other words, but and just that demeanor of him. Oh, Gary Oldman in the gray suit.
With the blue glasses.
With the blue glasses. That whole look with the hair and everything is just gorgeous. That's all I got.
Okay. All right, my love. So now let's start moving into the cinematography of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Bram Stoker's.
Almost every effect that you see in the movie, from the growing shadows to the fog and all of that, the crew of the movie were really trying to push to start using CGI. Francis Ford Coppola fought it. He said, no, we will be using practical effects in everything. So every shadow you see that's growing, every fog rolling in, the lightning cracks and stuff, that's practical effects.
So my mind immediately went to the scene when Lucy, she's attacked by the wolf and she meets her demise.
Yes.
And so they pull it away, and her beautiful room all of a sudden just has blood going like over the bed. Yeah. So that was
that's practical effect.
Wow. Can you imagine setting that up? And you know, like, is that like a one-shot thing?
That is a one-shot thing.
Because that room is so elaborately decorated. The moment you threw red whatever they used, it would have been destroyed.
Destroyed.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's like, and the green fog that was coming through.
I'm sure that was CGI.
You think that was CGI? It's maybe some limited CGI.
Some limited CGI.
Yeah.
But almost everything in there was practical effect.
I have respect for the CGI stuff, but man, when some of these people that come out with the practical, there's an art to that in itself.
Now, one of the other things that they did that was phenomenal cinematically with this is Francis Ford Coppola really used color in this like a painter. If you think about it, the color sets the tone. In London, it's more modern, it's more grays and blues.
And she pops out in that green.
And she pops. In Dracula's world, it's all reds and golds.
I mean, even his suit of armor was...
Yeah.
His suit of armor that he wore was all red, and his primary attack on Lucy, she wore that amazing red dress. You know, she was in neutral tones, and then when she became more vampiric, then she was in those reds until they buried her in her wedding dress.
Do you know why his suit was red?
No.
It was designed to look like a heart.
I see that.
You can, with the ribbing and all of that. Yeah. It was designed to look like a heart. Gary Oldman said that that suit was incredibly uncomfortable.
Really?
It was the most uncomfortable piece of clothing and attire that he has ever had to wear for any role.
But it was so impressive on him, though.
So impressive.
So impressive on him.
Right?
It's like when models wear too small a size shoes, but they look fabulous.
So speaking of costumes and things like that, the costume designer for this actually won an Oscar.
Really? You know what? Kudos to them, because well deserved. I love the costuming on everybody in this. I mean, truly, the set design, what they had Mina wearing, the different between the different dresses, as well as, you know, even the nightgowns. The way that when there's a big scene with Lucy and Mina, and they're in their nightwear, but it's huge and it's flowing in the breeze, and it's just so much more dramatic. And even Dracula's cape when he's walking in the castle and Jonathan Harker is walking next to him, and they do is that an aerial shot? A top down. And he must have like a 20-foot train on his cape that's just going through the castle behind him.
He was actually quoted, the costume designer was quoted as saying, "Dracula does not wear clothing, he wears statements."
Oh, he does wear statements. Yes. The gray suit. The gray suit.
The gray suit was equal parts aristocrat and rock star.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and even when he was in his older form, you know, with the big buns and then the long braided hair, it was intricate and different.
It was a statement.
It was a statement. Everything in this was a statement.
And that's something I find interesting from a cinematic standpoint, because in this, the clothing isn't just clothing, it's also telling a story. Mm-hmm. So if you think about it, you mentioned Mina's gowns. Mm-hmm. She goes from prim and proper Victorian into more sensual dresses as she falls deeper under Dracula's spell.
And then when she goes back to being married to Jonathan Harker, she's very covered and proper again.
Very proper again.
Yes, yes. But there's that moment that red dress is gorgeous. And Lucy's all the way through were stunning, but she is way more flamboyant and out there. So her dresses, and because she was on the hunt for a suitor, were a little bit more revealing at some points.
Absolutely.
They were gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Another thing related to the cinematography of the movie, but not camera related. The sound score of the movie.
The sound score of this entire film is amazing. I have multiple times in the last 33 years played the soundtrack of Dracula while I was studying, while I was doing some sort of work or computer work or something. I will just have Bram Stoker's Dracula playing, and it's beautiful.
So, actually, on that note, it's funny that you mentioned that. Hey, it's funny that you mentioned that. What do a lot of people listen to when they're studying or when they're doing intense
classical music?
They listen to classical music. They listen to opera a lot. The score was actually put together to give you the operatic feel. So it's got the singing choirs, the strings, you've got all of that ambience going on.
Yeah.
The music also tells the story
Yes.
as it progresses through.
I have found that even when I'm working, and I will be more than happy to, I will find a YouTube link and I will post it in the comments just so that anybody else that's interested can play it while they are studying or doing something of that nature. I will find that even as you're listening but you're still working, I can still visualize the movie because it sinks. And when I know the song, I know where they're at in the movie. I'm sorry, I just touched my microphone again. I know where they're at in the movie, and it's another one of those, like when you just have a soundtrack that you can listen to every single song and not skip one. That is one of those score albums, and it's probably in my top 5 to pull up and listen to. So yeah, I'm a big fan. The intensity of that music, because even when you listen to the first opening, and it's ramping up, and then when they open with a Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it's just like, oh, it's awesome. And then the music score when he's passing, and they zoom out of, they take from Mina and Dracula, and they go up to the ceiling, and it's the imagery of Dracula and Elisabetha. Oh, you get this bang at the beginning when the movie starts, and then it just fades out at the end, and it's beautiful.
And last thing for me, as far as cinematography goes of this, there were a couple callbacks to the original 1931 Dracula that they did with the camera. Yes, the isolation of the eyes was definitely one of them.
There was.
That pin lighting technique was used again. And I thought that was just a good, tip.
And I called it out. I was all proud of myself. I was like, oh, that is a throwback to 1931 on his eyes. I just knew it. I felt it. There was that pin lighting.
And now you have that point of reference.
I do. Thank you.
That is the other beauty of us doing this endeavor together.
Stuff. All the way through, from start to finish, I love the visuals of this movie.
Oh, it's amazing.
You start, even though you start in a war, you're in a castle. When you're back in England with Mina and Lucy, you're gallivanting through a labyrinth of beautiful gardens and going into was it London to go shopping. Everything just had this beautiful detail to it. Even when you're in Dracula's castle or when you're on the ship, there was just that theatrical. That now that you've really pointed that out, I see it. Yes. That it's the theatrics of it, but the castle was beautiful. The stagecoaches, stunning. The horses that are pulling the black stagecoach for Dracula, and it's going through the forest, and then the blue light that comes up, and it's absolutely stunning. And the Gothic details. And I think that's also part of when I learned about that aspect, because mind you, being 12 years old and not really knowing a lot about the world and seeing that kind of architecture that's in the world is something that I really admired about it and appreciate about the movie. All throughout the movie, there's this otherworldly feel in the aspect of whenever Dracula is checking in on Mina, per se, his eyes will appear in the clouds as he's watching her. Or when Mina's talking and they'll be going across and they'll show the map and it'll be layered on top with the train going over it and then a layer of Mina like in the image. So there was all these layered images on top of each other as the story was going. So you'd have like the scene happening. We're all getting out. We're going on our boat. We're getting on the train. So they show the train, but now it's all the maps and people talking. But I loved the fadedness of his eyes because when Dracula would come in and the girls are running
Peeking through
the clouds and stuff, and sometimes you wouldn't notice it right away. There's a beautiful scene of Mina and Lucy gallivanting in the rain in the labyrinth of a garden, and they're having a beautiful time, and you look into the clouds and there's Dracula. And he's watching them, but he's laughing with them, and he loves seeing them, and it's bringing him joy. But he's watching, and they have no idea that they're being watched, and that this storm has been brought on by a man that's coming to woo-woo Mina's heart.
So overall, cinematically, it just works.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, operatic, theatric.
Yeah.
Everything works together. It took a lot of work to do it, but props to Francis Ford Coppola and everybody who was a part of that production. The grips, the director of photography, everything. Everybody.
And taking that 1931 film, so Bram Stoker came out 61 years after the Bela Lugosi. And now we're talking about it 33 years later.
Yep.
So this movie, honestly, is also holding the test of time as a love story and a borderline horror genre.
Yes. All right, so let's start getting into some fun facts about this film.
This is my favorite part of our whole thing.
So Francis Ford Coppola actually made all the actors rehearse together for weeks.
He said 4 weeks.
Now, some of them ate it up. Some of them absolutely loved it. Gary Oldman, in between takes, he did the Bela Lugosi thing. He did not break character. As long as he was on that set, he was Dracula.
Oh, man.
He did the Bela Lugosi. Sir Anthony Hopkins, of course, he ate it up. He's loving it. He's thriving in that environment. Keanu Reeves
was not
so much. He actually admitted afterwards that he was tired, exhausted, wore out from the process. He did not thrive in that environment at that time. Today might be a little different.
Yeah.
But he admitted to being exhausted from filming this.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a fun one.
Fun for us, not for Keanu.
Yeah. One of the other fun facts about this, in regards to the practical effects that I've mentioned before, the original people who were doing the set design and all that stuff kept trying to push to get the CGI stuff in there. Oh, this would be so much easier with computers and all that. To the point where Francis Ford Coppola fired them and brought in his own son.
Wow.
To do the set designs and all of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Sometimes, you just don't push against somebody that's got a really deep vision. And kudos to him, because look what he produced with his vision.
Yep. He produced something that is timeless in a way.
Crossed oceans of time.
Interesting one. I don't know if this is going to change the dynamic that you watch this movie in.
Oh, no.
So Gary
Gary Oldman?
So Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder did not like each other.
No!
they did not. There was tension.
Stop. Oh.
There was actual tension between the two of them, to the point where the director had to step in and say, look, remember, these two were supposed to be star-crossed lovers. The fact that they still had that much on-screen chemistry.
Did they really hate
was
each other? Or did
amazing.
they just need to have sex?
I don't think so.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna tell you why this breaks my heart just a little bit. Because Winona Ryder is a long-standing celebrity crush of mine, and Gary Oldman. When I saw him, I was enamored with Gary Oldman for quite a while. And their love in that movie and those scenes, I thought were so great, even just watching it recently again. So you're telling me that they hate each other? So I'm going to say kudos, but also like, wow. They did very well of pulling their shit together and winning over my little heart. Because I've probably searched for a love like that myself in this life until I met you.
Now let's talk about the bat suit.
The bat suit?
When he's the bat.
Oh, okay.
Gary Oldman said, this is probably the most ridiculous thing I have ever worn, ever. And Francis Ford Coppola essentially said, you're supposed to scare the audience, not yourself. Get it together. You know the irony of all of that with the Batsuit thing? That image is burned into horror movie fans' minds. Just the grotesqueness of it at the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
That huge lumbering bat just standing over.
Just hanging over. Yeah, that thing was kind of gross. And then there's the scenes where he's in the box and he's kind of like shifting and he's almost like bubbly and slimy. Yeah. There are definitely some points where he is not the man in the gray suit. But I'm so happy he died that way because he was so beautiful in death.
So here's another fun one. The costumes didn't just look pretty and win Oscars and do all of that. They also almost killed people.
Too tight?
Winona Ryder's wedding dress was so heavy she could barely stand in it.
When she marries Jonathan Harker?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is a pretty massive dress. All that clothing back then was so massive anyways.
Massive.
And the big hats and all that. Oh wow, she couldn't even stand in that.
She could barely stand in it.
Wow.
Now, I mentioned the suit of armor before. It was so stiff. It was reportedly like cardboard. It was just so stiff. Like I said before, Francis Ford Coppola's like, deal with it.
Deal with it. We got a movie to shoot.
Right?
I got a vision and we're making it happen.
You gotta applaud the man for being,
Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all. He really stuck to his guns on his vision.
So what's funny is we're talking about Francis Ford Coppola sticking to those practical effects and that kind of old school filming techniques, things like that. He actually wanted to take it a step further than he was actually allowed to. He wanted to go back to original like 19th century filming techniques with hand cranked cinema cameras.
Okay.
And the studio shut that down real fast.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was even pitched, it's amazing.
But you know what? I wonder if it's some sort of thing between like the film process too. You know, how we listen to the way music sounds on a tape versus a record versus an MP3 player. So maybe does film change when you old school, I feel like I'm rolling down a window, old school this way, versus how they ended up shooting it. Yeah. So I wonder what the reasons were behind that, but that's interesting.
Probably because the union wouldn't let them, because of the onset, the keys, the grips,
all the additional,
all of that. Just no. The union was probably like, hey, no. So
we're not doing that.
All right, my love. So now let's give our ratings for Bram Stoker's Dracula
on a scale of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 skulls.
So let's go for cinematography first.
I think I'm going to give my first 5.
Okay.
I'm going to give my first 5. Yeah. The cinematography, the music score, the colors, the use of wardrobe, the transitions, all of it. I really enjoy it. So I'm going to give that across the board for me a 5.
I would say for me, this comes in at a 4, but it's a high 4.
Okay.
There was a lot in this that were admirable. The camera movements were great. The color usage, amazing. The costumes, the angles, everything was great. I don't think there's really anything they could have done to improve it. But for me, some of those things that make it feel a little more stagey.
Okay.
A little like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's a little cheesy, but I also get the medium.
Yeah. I can also be a little bit biased because, again, this was a movie that I got taken to see in the theater and had a great impact on my life at that time. And rest in peace, my Uncle Charlie, that took me to see it with my cousins. And so I think there's also that. And I've been watching this movie on and off for, God, it's 33 years now. It's been out 33 years. We're in 2025. And we just sat down and watched it. And all the way through. So for me, I'm going to hold on my 5 because there was a lot of things that I had seen in that movie that still just give me, like, I love the way that they did it.
And now approaching it from a different perspective, different lens.
Yeah, it still gives me, I have a lot of respect for this movie.
Okay. By all means.
This is my opinion on this chair.
Your opinion.
My chair, my opinion.
All right, my love. So now your fright factor rating, 1 to 5.
2. It's a love story. I mean, it's got a vampire in it. Nothing in this movie scares me. Like, genuinely.
To be fair, you're kind of desensitized to it because you have watched it so many times.
And vampires are just beautiful. So yeah, I'm desensitized, but I can see where I wouldn't give it a 0 because there is still the scare factor of the vampire. There is still the, oh my gosh, the wind's changing, the being watched, the being lured. Those are scary things. But the overall with the love story, I'm at a 2.
For me, I would say I would probably put this at a 3, 4.
Really? Why so?
Got in there. I'm gonna stick with a 3.
Okay.
Why so? Is because of the monster element of it. When Dracula is in his bat form, it is frightening.
Unsettling.
It's unsettling.
Yeah.
And the seduction, the hypnotizing, all of that, it's unnerving. Honestly, some of the scenes where he's controlling the weather, all of that, that also adds an element of fear for me because that is one of those, as a human, what can you do against that? What can you do against the winds that are coming in and blowing everything you know, everything you love all the way around? All the water that's coming through and being controlled, all of that. What can you do in that situation? There's really nothing.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So that is our assessment of Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves, Sir Anthony Hopkins, Cary Elwes. And if you agree with our assessment of this film, let us know in the comments below. If you think we're completely off base here and there's other things that we need to factor in, please let us know that as well. And any recommendations that you have for any other films for us to check out. We'd love to dive further into this weird world of cinema with you guys even more. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Stay Spooky.
And remember, stay weird.